breaking news by this woman's cheekbones. She kind of looked like a wax doll. She kind of looks like Caitlyn Jenner. But when y'all come in the building, smash that like button. We must meditate. I told y'all that Donald Trump and Donald Trump's clip-on toupee was going to pardon Diddy Glover. Salute to Miss Red. We got some breaking news, Miss Red. We must meditate as I gather my thoughts and as I give y'all the latest and the greatest. Salute to Mary. Salute to Carslow. Yes, y'all. I told y'all. Everybody thought that it was a game. Smash that like button, guys. Now, as everyone's coming in the building, y'all just heard me tell y'all last night about Diddy Glover getting granted a speedy appeal. Diddy Glover got granted a speedy appeal. Shout out to everybody in the building. So we thought that Donald Trump or Donald Trump's clip-on toupee was going to pardon Diddy Glover, and Diddy Glover was going to get out of jail last week. This was the news that came out, that he was supposed to pardon Diddy Glover last week. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Donald Trump did tell Diddy Glover, we're going to wait to see how this appeal goes. You know what I'm saying? And we're not going to, because today was election day. For all the people that didn't know, today was election. Shout out to everybody that's coming in the building. Smash that like button. Salute to y'all too. But today was election day. So Donald didn't want to pardon Diddy Glover before until this election thing was over. So now TMZ breaks the story that Diddy is inside of the FCI Fort Dinglings in New Jersey, and he's smiling and he's bragging that Donald Trump is going to pardon him in January, ladies and gentlemen. Diddy Glover is saying this out of his own mouth. Salute to my baby in the building. Diddy is telling other inmates, look, I'm going to look out for y'all. Donald Trump is going to pardon me. We've already made a deal. And this is the reason why Diddy has been smiling, laughing, and dancing up there at the jail, because he's getting pardoned. That's why. So real. So for the people that was wondering why Diddy so happy, it wasn't just because he was around other men. Other 50 Cent said that he was happy because he was around other handsome guys. No, it wasn't about the handsome guys. Even though that did put a smile on Diddy Glover's face to be around guys that he was attracted to, but Diddy is smiling because Donald Trump agreed to pardon him January 2026. Smash that like button.
Adjusting to life in a new facility. Well, disgraced music mogul Sean Diddy Combs adjusting to life in a new facility.
He arrived at Fort Dix Prison in New Jersey last week, and tonight we're getting a look at him interacting with other inmates.
All right, Fox 5's Lisa Evers joins us now with the very latest, an interesting image we got to see today.
Very interesting images, Natasha and Steve. Tomorrow, Sean Diddy Combs will once again be spending his birthday behind bars. But unlike last year at NBC in Brooklyn, he's no longer in a dangerous maximum security facility.
See, now understand this, guys. Diddy Glover's birthday is today. This Halloween mask face lady just reminded me that Diddy Glover's birthday is today. So you know he's celebrating. You know what I mean? He's probably having a freak off right now. He got his appeal granted, a speedy appeal, and Donald Trump agreed to pardon him in January.
Tomorrow, Sean Diddy Combs will once again be spending his birthday behind bars. But unlike last year at NBC in Brooklyn, he's no longer in a dangerous maximum security facility. And with every passing day, he gets closer to freedom, even though it's still months away. These first photos of Diddy at the Fort Dix Federal Correctional Institution in South Jersey surfaced on TMZ over the weekend.
Now you see this? Look how Diddy Glover is just blending in. He's just blending in because he knows that he's not going to have to stay there long during survival. And Diddy Glover was bragging to all of these inmates that Donald Trump and Donald Trump's clip-on toupee was going to pardon him in January. Ladies and gentlemen, this what the wait was for. This was what the wait was for. I don't think that Diddy would have been smiling this hard, you know what I'm saying, if if he didn't get all of this good news. Now, like I told y'all, there are guys on this yard that Diddy probably wanted to scalp out to become sex workers. He may be scalping out sex workers. But Diddy is bragging to the inmates that Donald is giving him a pardon.
And one, Diddy is smiling in his gray knit cap, looking happy and relaxed. Fort Dix is a minimum security facility. He's not in general population, but in a special housing area for inmates in drug treatment programs. Now, being in that program could also shave time off his 50-month sentence on transportation for prostitution charges. He's already getting credit for about 14 months behind bars. Now, while Diddy adjusts to his new location and new routine at the South Jersey facility, he and his legal team continue to appeal the 2 felony convictions. We've just learned that a federal judge this afternoon has approved their appeal of the verdict to be heard as...
Now, y'all see that? Even Diddy got a judge to approve his appeal. I just told y'all that yesterday during survival. Now, Diddy is washing socks and boxer shorts. He has a job where he's washing boxer shorts. He's in a low medium security prison. Things are starting to turn up for Diddy Glover. Now, one thing that Diddy Glover, I think that he's going wrong because Diddy is in there bragging to the inmates that Donald Trump's going to pardon him. And one thing about prison, you're not supposed to tell nobody when you're going home during survival. Okay, Donald Trump's going to pardon you in January. We're happy about knowing this information out here, but them inmates is not going to be happy about that, Diddy Glover, unless you're going to look out for them. So I get that you're happy and you're running around and you're smiling from ear to ear, but you're telling all the inmates about you getting pardoned, and now TMZ is telling everybody that you're bragging about it.
Transportation for prostitution charges. He's already getting credit for about 14 months behind bars. Now, while Diddy adjusts to his new location and new routine at the South Jersey facility, he and his legal team continue to appeal the 2 felony convictions. We've just learned that a federal judge this afternoon has approved their appeal of the verdict to be heard as early as next spring. They want both charges dropped, claiming the law was mistakenly applied to his case. Now, legal experts tell me there's a slim chance of that happening, but Team Combs is leaving no stone unturned.
Wow, so they're not leaving no stone unturned. Diddy Glover's team is not leaving no stone unturned, guys. You know what I'm saying? Now, for the people that don't want Diddy Glover to get pardoned, it'll be an ugly situation like this woman's cheekbones. But that's not my problem. I'm here to let y'all know that Diddy is bragging in the prison about getting pardoned. Salute to Arena. Just hit that super chat, Pure Survival. Arena. I'm so sorry, Arena. I think Arena, Pure Survival. Thank you so much, Irene, for hitting that super chat. You know what I'm saying? But they were already saying that Donald was going to pardon Diddy Glover. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if Diddy's bragging about it, he must already know. He must already know.
What happens if he pardons Diddy? I think Trump is reached a point right now that he has increased his score of surprises so high with everybody that nobody, we, the audience, the voters are immune to what he does. Nothing will surprise anybody. Okay. That's Trump. He's the most unpredictable president we've ever had.
Wow, did you hear that? He's one of the most unpredictable presidents that we have. Salute to dangerous minds. See, a lot of my other members that I ain't see in a while is popping up. It was something wrong with my channel, guys. I had to fix it. You know what I mean? Salute to all of y'all coming in the building. But like this guy just said, Donald Trump is unpredictable. So for people to be surprised that Donald told Diddy he was going to pardon him and Diddy's bragging to everybody, I'm not surprised because Donald Trump is unpredictable.
Not a predictable president. It's true. You want to talk predictable? We had a lot of presidents that were predictable. Obama was predictable. Biden was predictable. A lot of presidents we had were predictable. This is the most unpredictable guy. He could, on the same day, pardon Diddy and Ghislaine Maxwell, and people will say, what just happened? And the two.
Wow. He said that Donald Trump can pardon Diddy Glover and Ghislaine Maxwell all in the same day because he's so unpredictable and everybody's just going to say, oh my God, what the hell? What the F? You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm trying to tell my people. So y'all don't be surprised if Donald Trump really goes through with this. And Diddy is bragging about it. So Diddy must already pay him that $50 million.
What happens if he pardons Diddy? I think Trump is reached a point right now that he has increased his score of surprises so high with everybody that nobody, we, the audience, the voters are immune to what he does. Nothing will surprise anybody. Yeah. That's Trump.
Wow.
He's the most unpredictable president we've ever had. He's not a predictable president. It's true. You want to talk predictable? We had a lot of presidents that were predictable. Obama was predictable. Biden was predictable. A lot of presidents we had were predictable. This is the most unpredictable guy. He could, on the same day, pardon Diddy and Ghislaine Maxwell, and people will say, what just happened? And the two of them are going to start a podcast. And then they'll move on. But do I think he'll do it? I think if there's anybody capable of pardoning Diddy, it's probably Trump.
Wow. If anybody in the world is capable of pardoning Diddy Glover, it is Trump. You know what I'm saying? Y'all have to pay attention. They are saying it in so many ways that, you know what I'm saying? And he been said it back then.
Back when you hosted The Apprentice, you mentioned once in 2012 that Diddy was a good friend of yours back then. He has since found himself in some very serious legal trouble.
Yeah, that's true.
Would you ever consider pardoning him?
Well, nobody's asked. You had to be the one to ask, Peter, but nobody's asked. But I know people are thinking about it. I know they're thinking about it.
And you remember when he said nobody asked? When Donald Trump's funny looking eyes and his toupee said nobody asked? Well, after he said this, then he said Diddy Glover or Puff Daddy asked him for a pardon. I'm telling y'all right now, Diddy is in the daggone FCI fork dinglings bragging to inmates that Donald Trump is pardoning him 2026 January. So for him to do that, he got to be very confident that they made a deal already. I feel like this is all about money. He knew that there was some type of election today, so he couldn't do it. Donald couldn't do it before this election. That's why they had to wait for the new year.
Back when you hosted The Apprentice, you mentioned once in 2012 that Diddy was a good friend of yours back then. He has since found himself in some very serious legal trouble.
Yeah, that's true.
Would you ever consider pardoning him?
Well, nobody's asked. You had to be the one to ask, Peter, but nobody's asked. But I know people are thinking about it. I know they're thinking about it. I think some people have been very close to asking. First of all, I look at what's happening. And I haven't been watching it too closely, although it's certainly getting a lot of coverage. I haven't seen him, I haven't spoken to him in years. He used to really like me a lot, but I think when I ran for politics, he sort of, that relationship busted up from what I read. I don't know, he didn't tell me that, but I read.
And you know for a fact that Diddy was kissing Donald Trump's toupee, begging him to forgive him for dissing him. because Diddy was talking bad about Donald Trump's toupee. You know what I'm saying? And you notice how Donald was like, well, Puff Daddy asked me for a pardon. This means that Diddy Glover must have been kissing Donald Trump's tasty cakes. He must have been kissing his tasty cakes and offered to give him $50 million. That same $50 million that he was going to pay the bail. Why would Diddy be in jail bragging that Donald's going to give him a pardon if Donald Trump is not really going to give him a pardon? You see what I'm saying? That's why he's getting a pardon.
What's happening. And I haven't been watching it too closely, although it's certainly getting a lot of coverage. I haven't seen him, I haven't spoken to him in years. He used to really like me a lot, but I think when I ran for politics, he sort of, that relationship busted up from what I read. I don't know, he didn't tell me that, but I read some little bit nasty statements in the paper all of a sudden. You know, it's different. You become a much different person when you run for politics and you do what's right. I could do other things, and I'm sure he'd like me, and I'm sure other people would like me, but it wouldn't be as good for our country. As we said, our country's doing really well because of what we're doing. So I can't, it's not a popularity contest. So I don't know, I would certainly look at the facts. If I think somebody was mistreated, whether they like me or don't like me, it wouldn't have any impact on me.
Now remember that. He said if I think that somebody was mistreated, it's not going to have no impact on me if Diddy was talking about him like a dog. He will pardon him anyway. That's why he brought up Puff Daddy when they was talking about Ghislaine Maxwell. That's why he brought up Puff Daddy.
Harbor Freight has been.
You know what I'm saying? Smash that like button. Salute to everybody in the building. Diddy is bragging in the jail about Donald Trump giving him a pardon in January, and I believe he's going to give him the pardon.
Israeli government has been arresting and deporting activists that were traveling to Gaza. Today, Greta Thunberg, for instance, also some.
Well, she's just a troublemaker, you know. I mean, she's no longer into the environment now. She's into this. She's a troublemaker. She has an anger management problem. I think she should see a doctor. She needs anger. If you ever watch her, she's a young person. She's so angry. She's so crazy. No, you can have her. You can have. She's just a troublemaker.
She's just a troublemaker.
Mr. President,
Say it.
the Supreme Court is back and said that they rejected today the appeal by Ghislaine Maxwell to overturn her conviction. That means her only chance of getting out of prison is a pardon from you. Is that something you're open to?
Who are we talking about?
Ghislaine Maxwell.
You know, I haven't heard the name in so long. I can say this, that I'd have to take a look at it. I would have to take a look. Did they reject that?
She wanted to appeal her conviction.
And what
They
happened?
said that they were not going to hear her appeal.
I see. Well, I'll take a look at it. I will speak to the DOJ. I wouldn't consider it or not consider it. I don't know anything about it. So, but I will speak to the DOJ.
Why would she be a candidate of clemency, sir?
I don't know. I mean, I'd have to speak to the DOJ. I'll look at it. I have a lot of people who have asked me for pardons. I call him Puff Daddy has asked me for a pardon.
See, pay attention to that. Why would Donald Trump's clip-on toupee bring up Puff Daddy when they were asking him about somebody totally different during survival? If he was not going to pardon Puff Daddy, then why didn't Donald Trump or Donald Trump's clip-on toupee or his eyebrows roused up like that, why didn't he say that he wasn't going to pardon Diddy Glover? And this is why people keep getting mad every time that I tell them the damn truth. Pure survival. Diddy is bragging to other inmates. He's risking his life. He's risking his tasty cakes. You're not supposed to tell nobody in jail when you're going home. Pure survival. Because there are people that's not going home and they're not going to be happy for you during survival. So Diddy Glover is very confident that Donald Trump and Donald Trump's clip-on toupee, Pure Survival, is going to give him a pardon. Diddy is saying it out of his own mouth. If you want to Google it, go on motherfucker Google and look. TMZ just put it out. I don't know how they're getting all this information about what's going on with Diddy in the prison. I don't even know how they're getting pictures of Diddy Glover during survival, with Diddy Glover in there smiling and dancing and picking out sex workers. I don't know how they got pictures of Diddy pointing out sex workers, recruiting sex workers, but they are getting this information from inside the jail. So Diddy already made the deal with Donald Trump's toupee already, ladies and gentlemen. So I don't want nobody to be shocked when they say Donald Trump pardoned Diddy come this January 1st. And he don't even call him Diddy. Donald Trump don't call him Diddy. Donald Trump don't call him Diddy Glover. Donald Trump don't even say no Diddy. He calls him Puff Daddy.
I will speak to the DOJ. I wouldn't consider it or not consider, I don't know anything about it, so, but I will speak to the DOJ.
Why would she be a candidate for clemency, sir?
I don't know, I mean, I'd have to speak to the DOJ, I'll look at it, I have a lot of people who have asked me for pardons, I call her Puff Daddy has asked me for a pardon.
But she was convicted.
Do y'all hear that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to take a look at it, I'd have to ask DOJ. I didn't know they rejected it, I didn't know she was even asking for it, frankly. See,
And that's why y'all gotta understand, for all the people that's getting mad saying that Donald is not gonna pardon Diddy Glover, like you got another thing coming. Because the Donald don't care what the people think. Donald is all about money and power. Do you see how they got the food stamps turned off right now? Do you think he gives a damn? You know?
These are the things that happens in a prison facility. I might push back just a wee bit on the setup for this, and that for those who think that this was purposefully leaked in order to curry favor or anything else, that's not within Sean's wheelhouse, so to speak. So I think if there is any kind of a pardon or commutation in the works, I think it's probably more a product of the president understanding that Sean, like the president, they both share, or it resonates that New York prosecutors came after him and weaponized the legal system, and that's Sean has now been through it, just as President Trump has been through it.
Now, did y'all hear what he just said? Donald Trump is going to pardon Diddy Glover because not only did the feds do Donald Trump and Donald Trump's clip-on toupee wrong, the same thing that the feds did to Diddy Glover, they did the same thing to Donald Trump. And Donald is all about power. So he can come back and do some shit and slap him in the face like Will Smith. Oh, y'all wanted to give me 37 felonies? Y'all wanted to run into my freak off dungeon? Then y'all ran into Diddy Glover's freak off dungeon? Diddy just got his appeal granted. So, I mean, for real. Now, remember we were supposed to get the freak off tapes? Look at Ashton Kutcher. He's swinging from the freak off vine at Diddy Glover's all white freak off party. Pure survival. How come we didn't get the tape with Ashton Kutcher and his tasty cakes in the air? They didn't play those tapes in the courtroom with Ashton Kutcher getting his cheeks clapped. And you can tell he got his cheeks clapped that night. Pure survival. Look how excited he is to swing from Diddy Glover's freak off vine. You got to understand the things that was supposed to have been played in court never was played in court during survival. I've never seen a man that's happy to swing from somebody else's ding-a-ling. This is crazy, guys. But Donald Trump is pardoning Diddy, and Diddy is bragging about it in jail. So he's very confident.
It's in a prison facility. These are the things that happens in a prison facility. I might push back just a wee bit on the setup for this, and that for those who think that this was purposefully leaked in order to curry favor or anything else, I think that's not within Sean's wheelhouse, so to speak. So I think if there is any kind of a pardon or commutation in the works, I think it's probably more a product of the president understanding that Sean, like the president, they both share, or it resonates that New York prosecutors came after him and weaponized the legal system, and that's Sean has now been through it, just as President Trump has been through it.
Now, put a 1 in the chat if y'all agree with Grumpy Old Men. The dude that played in the movie Grumpy Old Men. He put a 2 in the chat if y'all disagree. He's saying that Donald is pardoning Diddy because the feds did him the same way they did Diddy Glover. Pure survival. So Donald wants to just show them, y'all wanted to do me dirty? Now I'm going to let out the person that y'all don't want out of jail for some motherfucking reason.
reported knife incident in the prison?
Well, I know that previously, and it was in the sentencing paperwork that that has happened, and it's in a prison facility. These are the things that happens in a prison facility. I might push back just a wee bit on the setup for this, and that for those who think that this was purposefully leaked in order to curry favor or anything else, that's not within Sean's wheelhouse, so to speak. So I think if there is any kind of a pardon or commutation in the works, I think it's probably more a product of the president understanding that Sean, like the president, they both share, or it resonates that New York prosecutors came after him and weaponized the legal system, and Sean has now been through it, just as President Trump has been through it. So there is I don't want to call it a kumbaya, but there's certainly a resonance or a similarity between the two.
President
Wow,
Trump,
wow.
as we just played, said that Sean Combs had reached out to him. Do you know how that happened? Did he write a letter? Did somebody place a call for him? How did that happen?
I know that it did. I'm not going to betray exactly how, but I know that there has been that communication. And
See, look, they already know about the pardon. This lady just said, how did Diddy Glover get a hold of Donald Trump? Tell me that. Diddy Glover was inside of the jail cell. Did he write him a letter? No. Trump said that he talked to Diddy. You know what I'm saying? Like over the phone type of shit. And he's not going to tell the connection to it. And for Diddy to be bragging to the other inmates that he about to get pardoned in January, this is something that they were supposed to keep quiet, ladies and gentlemen. Diddy was not, TMZ wasn't supposed to tell nobody about why you think, do y'all remember when the White House, they said somebody close to the White House, inside of the White House, said that Donald Trump was considering pardoning Diddy? Do y'all remember that? And do y'all remember when the people in the White House came out and said, oh no, that's a lie. No, we did. No, because they wasn't supposed to say nothing. It was supposed to be a Victoria's Secret during survival. It was supposed to be a Victoria's Secret.
President Trump, as we just played, said that Sean Combs had reached out to him. Do you know how that happened? Did he write a letter? Did somebody place a call for him? How did that happen?
I know that it did. I'm not going to betray exactly how, but I know that there has been that communication, and I know that obviously Sean would welcome a commutation or a pardon. That's no secret. I saw today with great interest that there was another person who the president commuted his sentence because of
right, a Bitcoin person who pled guilty.
Yeah, correct. And got sentenced, and president thought it was an overreach.
Now you see this? Like he just said, Donald Trump thinks that Diddy case was an overreach. Do you remember they fired the prosecutors? Put a 1 in the chat if y'all remember them firing Diddy's lead prosecutor. Put a 2 in the chat if y'all don't remember that. The lead prosecutor, Donald Trump, fired her. Shout out to the lounge, my baby. She just put like 5 ones in the building. Because Donald Trump fired the lead prosecutor for overreaching. And that's why he's saying not only is Donald going to pardon Diddy because he got done the same way, but the fact that the feds be overreaching and overcharging during survival. If Diddy Glover was charged with sex trafficking, with buying dinglings and flying dinglings out so the dinglings can pee in Cassie's eyeballs, you know what I mean? He would have never be in jail right now because Cassie was drinking it like it was apple juice, like on her own, saying more apple juice, please, more apple juice. That's what Cassie was allegedly saying out of her own mouth. Please, come on, that's so good. Can I get more apple juice? Smash that like button for the apple juice.
How, but I know that there has been that communication, and I know that obviously Sean would welcome a commutation or a pardon. That's no secret. I saw today with great interest that there was another person who the president commuted his sentence because of
right, a Bitcoin
what he
person who
considered.
pled guilty.
Yeah, correct. And got sentenced, and president thought it was an overreach. If that was an overreach, and I forget the exact sentence, but I think it pales in comparison to Sean's. And remember, one of the things that is irksome, if you will, about Sean's, and I call him Sean, the president calls him Puff Daddy. I'd call him Sean.
Now, do you hear this? He calls him Sean. He calls him Sean. I call him Diddy Glover. But Donald Trump calls him Puff motherfucking Daddy. That's a different kind of friendship during survival. They have a whole different kind of friendship. You know what I'm saying? I believe Donald and Diddy Glover done had threesomes, all types of shit probably together. Pure survival. And did it all over there at the Hefner Freak Off Playboy Mansion. You know what I mean? They got a different kind of relationship. I think Donald was more mad at Diddy Glover for hating on him that he became president. You know what I'm saying? So he wanted to discipline Diddy. He wanted to give Diddy Glover a freak off spanking for you know what I'm saying? Like kind of betraying him. And now Diddy needs Donald Trump's toupee to get him out. And Diddy agreed to become motherfucking MAGA, pure survival. Diddy's in the jail cell, well, in the yard now, bragging to the inmates that Donald Trump is going to pardon him, and he's telling the inmates to vote for Donald Trump, pure survival. So Diddy is already at the FCI talking to the inmates, trying to get them all to become MAGA. Can y'all understand? So Diddy's already working for Trump right now. The motherfuckers that smiling in the picture with motherfucking Diddy, oh, they gonna all have MAGA hats when he come home. Diddy is going to work for that motherfucking pardon. Not only just give up the $50 million, but he's working for it. Smash that like button.
President thought it was an overreach. If that was an overreach, and I forget the exact sentence, but I think it pales in comparison to Sean's. And remember, one of the things that is irksome, if you will, about Sean's, and I call him Sean, the president calls him Puff Daddy. I'd call him Sean as long as I've known him. One of the things that is somewhat irksome is that the government took a swing, a big swing at him, and basically tried to get him into take his entire fortune and net worth and the rest of his life, and they lost. And I think that the 50-month sentence was punitive, if you will. I think, if anything, he should have gotten some consideration for the fact that he took the gamble, he risked it, he went to trial, and basically beat all the mandatory life sentences and beat the mandatory divestiture.
Wow. Do y'all hear what he's saying? Diddy Glover had the courage. He had the freak off courage to go to trial when they were trying to give him life in prison, pure survival. Most motherfuckers would have just took a deal. Diddy Glover took the feds to trial, and all they could get him for was buying dingalings and flying the dingalings out. You know what I'm talking about? So he's saying that Donald Trump is not liking that. He's not liking that during survival.
50-month sentence was punitive, if you will. I think, if anything, he should have gotten some consideration for the fact that he took the gamble, he risked it, he went to trial, and basically beat all the mandatory life sentences and beat the mandatory divestiture of all of his assets.
You told TMZ in an interview that you think Sean's going to make the comeback, the likes of which people are not expecting. How is that possible? I mean, there has been an extraordinary amount of dirty laundry, let's just put it that way, displayed in this trial. Things that Sean Combs himself felt that he needed to apologize for when he was given a chance to address the judge.
I've been around one or two or three people who have been counted out, who I've defended over the last, 40 some odd years. I will tell you, if you just think back 6 months, Elizabeth, I think anybody who would tell you 6 months ago. I remember my daughter Tenny going on and saying publicly that the media got it wrong before the trial ever took place.
Wow. See, so he pretty much saying that Diddy Glover is going to make a major freak off comeback. Shout out to everybody that's in the building. Please smash that like button. Diddy Glover, if y'all just coming in the building, Diddy was spotted inside of the prison. TMZ broke the story that Diddy is bragging to other inmates that he's gotten a pardon, that Donald Trump agreed to pardon him, but to pardon him in January 2026. Diddy's telling other inmates. You know what I'm saying? And now this lady is asking, well, how if Diddy gets out, how is he going to make a comeback? How is he going to make a freak off comeback after all of these freaky things people found out about him? Pure survival. He's saying that he's going to sell out Madison Square Gardens. And I think Diddy Glover's going to sell out Madison Square Gardens. Pure survival.
6 months ago, I remember my daughter Tenny going on and saying publicly that the media got it wrong before the trial ever took place. All of the kinds of wild rumors, all of the kind of conspiracy theories, and there was. I don't think there was anyone who thought he would be where he sits today, which is not guilty on the RICO, not guilty on sex trafficking, not guilty on another sex trafficking.
Right.
I've seen Sean
Wow.
overcome.
Now admit this, guys. Put a one in the chat if y'all thought that Diddy was going to get found guilty of the worst charge, of the worst charges. Put a two in the chat if y'all think that y'all didn't think Diddy was going to get found guilty of the more worst charges. Because everybody was talking about Diddy was going to get life in prison. He was going to get 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. 50 years. I heard some people say he was going to get double life, pure survival. like as if he killed somebody. And then he got a not guilty for count one. Then he got a not guilty for count two. Then he only got a guilty for count three. And then a not guilty for count four. And then a guilty for count five, which is the lowest shit that you could get found guilty for, pure survival. If Diddy would have just went for these two, he would never had got locked up in the first place, and his hair wouldn't have turned gray, and he wouldn't have started to look like Danny Glover. Diddy wouldn't have never looked like Danny Glover, so I wouldn't have started calling him Diddy Glover, pure survival. If this shit never happened, everybody got to smash that like button for Diddy Glover. Because Diddy Glover's been getting a lot of wins lately. He done got the damn judge to give him a new appeal. And then he's bragging to the inmates that Donald already going to pardon him in January. They just waiting until the election was over today. Diddy Glover is up right now, guys. Let's just admit it and get ready for the Madison Square Gardens concert.
Which is not guilty on the RICO, not guilty on sex trafficking, not guilty on another sex trafficking.
Right.
I've seen Sean overcome, I think, obstacles, maybe not as large as this, but obstacles where people counted him out. But remember, this is somebody who grew up, whose father was murdered and didn't have two nickels to rub together, and made himself into an iconic African-American billionaire. And I just think that he's got if anybody's going to ever make a comeback, he's the guy to do it.
Wow. Put a one in the chat if y'all think that Diddy Glover is going to make a freak off comeback. Put a two in the chat if y'all don't think that Diddy's going to be able to make a comeback. That's what I want to know from y'all. Do y'all think that because of what Diddy got locked up for, it's going to be over for him? That he's never going to be able to be, you know what I mean? Everybody's just going, when they look at him, all they're going to see is a bottle of baby oil talking. It's going to be a bottle of baby oil, but talk with teeth and shit. You know what I mean? The reason why I think that Diddy Glover is going to make a major freak off comeback, guys, because you know how much money for an interview with Diddy Glover is going to be? Do you know how many people is going to want to get that first Diddy Glover's freak off interview? You know what I'm saying? Like, if he's going to be going from platform to platform to, you know what I mean? Because everybody's going to want to hear his story. And then the concert, people are just going to go just so they can get footage. You know what I'm saying? I already told y'all, me and my baby is going to Diddy Glover's concert. You know what I'm saying? And think about all the celebrities that didn't want nothing to do with Diddy that's gonna try to be his best freak off friend soon as he come home. Pure survival. Cause they're gonna know that everything that Diddy do, when Diddy walk into Walmart, it's gonna be paparazzi. People gonna be recording it. It's gonna go viral. When Diddy, anything he does is gonna go viral. So you're gonna have Chris Brown, Little Nas X, Caitlyn Jenner, Tyler the Creator, Jayden Smith. They're gonna all perform at his concert. You know what I'm talking about? And the shit is going to be viral. Diddy got enough money to when he gets out, he can book NBA YoungBoy, pure survival. NBA YoungBoy got the biggest concert going on right now. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all think that he can book NBA YoungBoy. Put a 2 in the chat if y'all don't think that Diddy Glover can't book NBA YoungBoy. Now, NBA YoungBoy got millions and millions of dollars. You think Diddy can't book NBA YoungBoy and then get the whole fucking young crowd? Look, everybody got ones in the chat. And get the whole young audience to come to the motherfucker concert? Y'all gotta understand, when I say Diddy's gonna sell out Madison Square Gardens, I don't mean because I think he gonna make music that we're gonna like, pure survival. People just gonna wanna see the drama. People gonna wanna see the freak off vampires hanging from the ceiling at the concert. People gonna wanna see the stage full of motherfucking baby oil. It's gonna be the funniest, iconic shit. You know what I mean? To see Diddy on stage after all we know and what happened during survival, trust and believe me, everybody in the United States of America gonna be tuned into that motherfucker. Pure survival. It's gonna be hilarious. You might see Caitlyn Jenner just jump out of a birthday cake on stage. They push out a freak off birthday cake, and Caitlyn Jenner jump out that motherfucker and start dancing with Dennis Rodman. Pure survival. That shit's gonna be crazy. And then Oprah Winfrey gonna come out on stage pushing Stedman in a chair, tied the fuck up with a banana in his mouth. That's gonna be a crazy concert, guys. During survival, I think if Diddy came out and got a bunch of shirts made and just said "freak off" on the motherfucking shirts, everybody gonna be on stage with freak off shirts on. I'm telling you, just for the entertainment, ladies and gentlemen. That's why it's going to be iconic. Get your freak off shirts ready, guys. That's all I gotta say. Get your freak off shirts ready.
2 seconds
Cause
left.
cause cause Diddy is bragging about coming home. You know what I'm saying? And it's going around the jail. Like, look, you see Tisa Tells, Diddy bragging he's getting pardoned in January. For all the people who didn't want to listen to me, Diddy's bragging he's getting pardoned in January. Anything that this woman say, she doesn't like Diddy. So she's gonna say, "Oh no, it's not gonna happen." Da, da, da. She's gonna say mean things just because she don't like Diddy Glover. And I think Diddy Glover might have kicked her out of a freak off before. That's what I think. But Diddy is bragging in jail that he's getting out, that he's getting pardoned, ladies and gentlemen, in January. This is a real thing. You know what I'm saying? And from the way I see, how I'm not surprised if Donald Trump do it. He's the most unpredictable president that we ever had. He does what he wants to do, not what he's told to do. Pure survival.
What happens if he pardons Diddy? I think Trump is reached a point right now that he has increased his score of surprises so high with everybody that nobody, we, the audience, the voters are immune to what he does. Nothing will surprise anybody. Yeah. That's Trump. He's the most unpredictable president we've ever had. He's not a predictable president. It's true. You want to talk predictable? We had a lot of presidents that were predictable. Obama was predictable. Biden was predictable. A lot of presidents we had were predictable. This is the most unpredictable guy. He could, on the same day, pardon Diddy and Ghislaine Maxwell, and people will say, what just happened?
And the two of them are going to start a podcast.
And then they'll move on. But do I think he'll do it? I think if there's anybody capable of pardoning Diddy, it's probably Trump. What happens